All right, we got to talk some Guardians, though, because Triston McKenzie. We have a Triston McKenzie discussion. And this Triston McKenzie discussion is brought to us by FanDuel. The NBA playoffs are back. They start again on Friday for the play-in finale, and then the actual playoffs tip off on Saturday. And right now, FanDuel is giving new customers an incredible way to get in on the action. Right now, when you join FanDuel and place your first $5 bet, you'll get $250 in bonus bets if that first $5 bet wins. Don't miss out. Head to FanDuel.com/UCSS and claim your $250 in bonus bets today. Bull, I'm going to just toss it out to you. You guys can run with this wherever you want to go. But what should the Guardians do with the Triston McKenzie situation right now?
It brings
lay hands on him and pray.
He is out of options, correct?
Yep.
So the Guardians are in a really tough position because he can't send him to the minors. I mean, I guess technically you could if nobody claimed them on waivers.
He'll
you could
get
then
claimed.
outright him to the minors, but somebody would claim
He'd be
him.
claimed.
They can't. He's been so bad since the beginning of last year. It's getting hard to keep him on the roster. And Jason, you got Andrew Walters down in the minors who pitched well for them last year. He's dominating it at AAA. Unfortunately, I think we're in a situation where the Guardians. I wouldn't do it just yet. But if Triston McKenzie can't turn it around in the next 2-3 weeks, you're going to have to trade him. And just, you're not going to get much.
Yeah.
But they're going to have to move on and trade him. I just, unless he somehow just starts pitching lights out in the next few weeks, by the time we get to May, they're going to have to move on from him, and you're going to have to give up him for nothing.
First of all, it brings tears to my eyes to see where this man is now.
He should have had Tommy John surgery.
That I was going to ask you. Like, what?
Yeah.
Can he not come out and say, all right, I'll go get the surgery?
Well, I mean, at this point, he's not going to do it.
I mean,
why not?
Well, Zach and I had that conversation last night. Have you guys done a Guardian show lately?
We did it Monday. We didn't dive deep into Triston McKenzie, though.
Zach's point is there's nothing to have surgery on.
At this point.
Because he's throwing.
Yeah, right.
But here's the thing where, so when Zach and I wrote the story last year, obviously, on he's got the tear and what do you do? And we dug pretty deep. And this isn't just us. Like, this is from medical history and talking to a bunch of people. There are 3 areas where the tear can really impact. 1 is pain. 2 is velocity, and 3 is command. You can't throw it to the right location. And I was told guys will try and get by if they only have 2 of the 3. So if you can tolerate the pain and you can still command it, you may lose some velocity, but you're going to try and pitch through it. Or if you don't have any pain, you still have velocity, and you still have location, you can pitch through it. What I think we're seeing with Triston is the location, is the command. The velocity is still there. He's throwing his fastball harder than he's ever thrown it. And it's getting hit harder than it's ever been. The spin rate on his curve is higher than it's ever been. So it's not a velocity issue, and it's not a pain issue. He swears he's not in pain, at least when we talked to him last year. It was right around this time last year. He said he wasn't in any pain. Clearly, he has no command. He has no idea where this is going. We saw it. I mean, it was so hard to watch last night. He is such a good dude. He is such a good dude. He's so thoughtful. And he's incredibly smart, and he thinks things through so much, and he sought all these different opinions on what to do last year. And I told Zach last night, we were texting, I said, there's a lot of sadness in those eyes, man. I felt terrible for him last night. When on 3 consecutive pitches, 1 sails to the backstop, the second he spikes in the ground, and the third was hit to Utah Street. Because he just has no idea where it's going when it leaves his hand. And maybe I'm wrong on that, but based on the work that we did last year, that to me is a sign of the tear. And I don't know what other choice he has. And the reason why it's so devastating is because if he would have had the surgery at the time, then he would be close to coming back by now. But now you got to start. Now if you do it, now you've lost all of this year and all of next year.
Right.
Or most of next year.
Yeah.
And it's just devastating for his career. I feel terrible for him. He's such a good dude. He was
about to sign that big contract. By the way, let me just, I'm thinking about it a little more. Instead of just moving on from him, what I would do is put him on the injured list.
Okay.
I know that's tricky. And maybe you can figure something
out. They did
out.
that last year. They sent him to the minors last year.
Why not give it one more shot?
My thing is this.
Yeah.
Yes, it's going to cost him to miss this year and next year. But if he comes back and he can find some type of success, he at least still be in the league.
Yeah.
The way he playing,
that's
about
true.
to be. We gonna have him on the show. He gonna be a fourth guest or a member that can come in every day and be an analyst on this show.
Had he signed, had he gotten his money, I don't know.
Yeah.
I wonder if he'd have had the surgery. If you had the money.
More likely, probably.
Probably more likely.
Yeah.
I'll go back to, it's the same thing with Baker. If
Yeah.
Baker had the extension, would he have had the surgery?
Right.
But guys are playing for the next contract, and
Yeah.
guys are playing for the money. Why are you rolling your eyes at me? You think I'm wrong?
What about Baker?
You're going around.
No, because this is just like he should have got the surgery anyway.
But when you're
Right.
playing for your next contract, and you're playing
Yeah.
for the contract, I get why guys.
but you can't give people a reason to not pay you.
Yeah,
Right,
hear
but don't
you.
guys
So-
think
so-
they're going to be able to play through it and do
Yeah,
that?
you
know?
go out there and you try it, and when
Yeah.
you say you can't, I'm not. Because the thing is this: it all comes down to when you sit down and negotiate, they're gonna do this: play.
Yep.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
You want me to pay you how much?
Yep.
Now, if they go off of if you played one bad game, but the rest of the games was good before that, I go
Right.
off of the last time you see me. There's room to imagine. Oh, he was that before he got the surgery. With the right rehab, he'll probably get back to that, or at least close to that. To where if you look like that, I'm gonna pay you. You
Yeah,
think you want me
right.
to pay you?
Yeah.
No. So every time you should take the surgery and just try to figure it out that way.
Especially with what we're talking about now, everybody's having Tommy John. It's not that big
Yeah.
of a deal,
So-
and it is. I mean, that one thing I learned in doing this was surgery is like a last resort for a lot of guys. Like
Nobody wants to get that. Because you do not want to start cutting on your body because it's just not the same.
That's it. And I never, I think, grasped that until I started getting into this industry
Yeah.
more and
To this day, my right hip, man, I can open to the left. If I open to the right, it's a little slow. Just
But
a
you
little
From an
slow.
outsider's perspective who doesn't play, you think just have the surgery.
exactly,
What's the big deal?
exactly.
Yeah.
But,
But it
guys,
is.
guys
The
do
guys,
not
yeah.
want to
My
get.
wrists I can never flick my wrist all the way. This is as far as my wrists go for the rest of my life.
Even something as simple as a knee scope, all the way to
Man.
something like a reconstruction.
Yeah.
Right
Guys
here.
just don't want to they don't want to get cut. And I get it, like when you sit down and think about it, because you just don't know how your body's going to respond. But we have so much evidence now. Are there some guys that come back worse from Tommy John? Yeah, there are. It's rare though. Most especially
true.
today, most guys are coming back better.
Yeah.
So
He should get the surgery.
there is no.
At this point, he ain't got nothing to prove. He's going to do himself more of a disservice if he continues to play like this. He'll never get the money. To where if you get the Tommy John surgery, yes, you're going to miss this year. You're going to come back at the end of next year. But if you're pitching well, there's hope that you maybe can see some type of money.
I don't think he's going to be with the Guardians next year either way, because
It's not looking like it.
even if he had Tommy John surgery now, they'd non-tender him, I would think.
This could be totally unrealistic.
Yeah.
I forget where he's at on his arbitration clock. This might be it. This might be his last year of arbitration.
Oh, is it?
I don't remember.
Let me take
I was trying to look earlier.
Yeah.
But is there a way that they could sign him to like a 2-year deal
I mean, you have to pay him almost nothing to make.
and tell him, Bieber obviously got a lot of money,
Sure.
but you sign him to a 2-year deal and tell him, go get fixed. And maybe it's all mental. Maybe this is just a big mental. We've seen that with guys before who just can't throw, Rick Ankiel lost it. But Tristan isn't really losing it like that. I gave the example of the one he sailed and the one he spiked.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think he's hitting his spots. He's just missing he just doesn't have command over where it's going. But it's really kind of a tragic story for how close he was to getting
No, he's not.
paid.
He's not a free agent until 28.
Really?
Get the surgery.
Man, he should have had the surgery.
He's only got 3.1 years of service time.
Get the surgery.
So he just got to arbitration? I didn't think that was right.
He's not even gotten to arbitration. He's arbitration eligible after
No,
the
he
season.
was arbitration eligible in the winter. He signed to I thought. Maybe I got that wrong.
So 2025, according to Spotrac, arbitration was avoided, and then arbitration can come back up in 2026, according to this.
Get the
Yeah.
surgery.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Regardless.
Get
Yeah,
the
he's
surgery.
making 1.95 this year.
Is he going to get that whether he's playing?
Yeah, it's
or-
guaranteed.
Get the surgery.
Yeah.
I mean, now, if you have it now,
Yeah, he'd have one more year under contract after that.
Which is
They've got him under contract
which
for
is
3 years,
perfect
including this year.
for him. He can come back and light it up that last year and make some money.
you've basically lost was April 17th. If you have the surgery now, I mean, you're back next year in July, maybe.
I mean, this is around the time Bieber had it last year.
It is right around Bieber
Yeah.
had it. And we've seen other guys come back and try and pitch
Yeah.
through it and decide that they can't. Somebody for the Orioles, was it Bradish? One of the Orioles pitchers tried to come back
Well, I
and
feel
pitch
like-
through it last year.
And again, he might have to do it with another team.
Try that?
But what's that?
Did Garrett Cole try that? The pitch through
Well,
it?
Cole wound up having it this year.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
And I don't think he didn't have what Tristan had. I can't remember what Garrett had.
No,
but
it was
wasn't
that.
the
What's
same
his
thing.
name? The Japanese Yankee pitcher pitched through it, and he pitched well.
Yeah, he's the one.
but that's a rarity.
Yamamoto?
no.
Drawing a blank on his
Tanaka.
name. Masahiro Tanaka.
Yeah. That's the example everybody uses. People keep telling me it's more frequent than you think.
Yeah.
There was a guy with the Phillies who did it and pitched through it and was fine. A couple of years ago, Nola. I think it was Nola.
Aaron, yeah.
I
He
think
with
he's
the
got
Phillies.
So it seems like Tristan McKenzie has been in the big league since 2020, but he, 2020, he didn't pitch a lot, and then he did in 21 and 22. But he's only appeared in 24 games the last 3 years. So
Well, with his frame, injuries are always
Yeah.
going to be a concern with him. He's
Yeah.
fought injuries throughout his minors. He missed quite a bit of time. I think he had a shoulder in the minors. So there is no great answer. There is no great solution. Right now, you're wasting a roster spot right now.
yeah,
When you got it, when the only time you can throw a guy is when a 5-run deficit in the 8th inning,
right. It's
and he
pointless.
can't get out of it.
So I'm saying I would give it one more shot on the injured list and try to work with him. And
Get the surgery.
but they know him better than anybody.
I don't know what you're. I don't know what you're trying to. Like if the Guardians, the Rays, and the Mariners can't fix you, I don't know
Yeah.
what team can. Like this is the perfect spot for him to try and do this.
Yeah.
Get the surgery. You know somebody who don't need surgery? Gabby Arias. I just want to update
Here we
everybody
go.
in the world to let everybody know that before this season, I predicted that Gabby would hit 17 home runs. He is currently sitting at 4, meaning that I need 13 more to go. If he gets 17 home runs, I will be appearing on the Ultimate Guardian show. I will tell Zach and Bull to just be quiet and let me talk because I need to educate people because I am just that good when it comes to baseball.
Yeah, that was a big home run and a 9-1 loss. yesterday.
Listen, he did his job, okay? He can't control what everybody else is doing. He put points up on the board. All I need you to do is do it 13 more times because Jason will have to call off, okay? He ain't going to be able to face me.
Gavin Williams, speaking of the Guardians, Gavin Williams has been a huge disappointment so far.
Yeah. I
got
thought
hit
this
up
was going to be a
yesterday,
breakthrough.
didn't he?
I thought this was going to be a big year for him. He gave up the Grand Slam, obviously, and then he seemed to settle down. And then he got hit again, I think, late. They tacked on one late. It's still early. It's April. I'm not going to rush
I
to
hear you.
conclusions. But what's he made? 3 starts?
Yes.
So
4, sorry.
He's made 4? All right.
But 2 of them were against the White Sox and Angels.
Angels aren't terrible.
And they haven't been so far, but they will be. They always are.
I hate admitting it. Actually, I was a big Arias fan for a while.
You was, and then you jumped off the ship.
Because you turned me off now every time you make one of these ridiculous predictions.
It makes me smile
I
every
know.
time.
Arias might wind up being the shortstop after all.
Well, Rocchio's been such a mess, and at some point, if Bazzana stays hot, at some point they're going to call him up.
I think June is.
It's just so frustrating. Like, baseball, I've been saying, they just need to fix this. It's the only sport where there are benefits to leaving a guy in the minor leagues.
not
and
playing
it
a guy.
just doesn't
Yeah.
make sense.
Yeah.
That's counterproductive to the sport.
I don't know how you fix it, especially in small markets.
Well,
they're always going to.
Okay, I think there's an easy fix.
And by the way, I don't think this is. I'm curious what your easy fix is, but
Yeah.
I don't know that Bazzana. The dude was just drafted not even a year ago, so I don't know that we can say that's manipulation of contract. Like,
Fine, but
there's a ton of other
been
examples.
plenty of
Yes.
that. I think it's fair, okay, at this point to say no. But if he's got a 980 OPS in Double-A 3-4 weeks from now, well, then why don't you call him up at that point?
I mean, at least get him into AAA.
Yeah.
Wasn't Kyle Manzardo like that, where he was just crushing it and they just kept delaying bringing him up?
Yeah.
Yeah,
At the
so
start of last year.
How long do you got to do it for?
Through the end of April, usually. Super 2 status, maybe.
Here's the thing, Jason. Here's how you fix it. Now, don't get caught up in the exact amount of years. I'm just using these. I'd have to really study it to figure the right amount of years. But what I think baseball should do is, and the players probably wouldn't love this either, you'd have to figure out the right amount of years. And it would be different based on if you were drafted out of high school. Maybe it would be based on the age that you come into professional ball. But let's say, for example, it's 9 years if you're drafted out of high school and 7 years, or I'm sorry, 8 years if you're drafted out of college. Or 10 out of high school, 9 if you're a sophomore or less, and 8 if you're a junior or senior.
Yeah.
That's how long the organization gets to keep you. It's irrelevant what, if you're in the minors, the majors, they get you for those amount of years. After that, you're a free agent.
But wouldn't they then they just target high school kids out of high school, right?
Why? But a lot of college players are going to be better.
They're closer to helping you, and
Yeah.
they're more developed.
Yeah, you're
coming out
still
of
going to have to
college.
put guys in the minors. Now, the only potential negative is that maybe you rush guys to the majors is a potential negative. But I'd rather have that negative than the negative of keeping good players in the minors.
Do you think minor leagues will ever go away completely?
No.
I don't think it's unrealistic to think that they may just because they don't make any money.
That's true. Or maybe they just go to one level.
One level.
Yeah. I mean, because they've already gone, there used to be essentially 6 levels, now there's 4.
Yeah, and they're like the NBA.
Well, actually, at one point there was even more than 6.
The NBA obviously has been trying to make the G League sort of a minor league development.
Right, yeah.
With limited success. It's totally different. It's 15-man rosters compared
Yeah.
to.
And it's not
40.
really. I mean, college basketball, especially now with NIL, college basketball is clearly.
Yeah, and they're trying to use the G League as like rehab assignments.
Right, sure.
But people look at it with such a stigma. No star is going to go down.
Right,
You know,
sure.
Mike Trout could go on a rehab assignment. Shohei
course.
could go on a rehab assignment
Yes.
and think nothing of it.
Right.
You try and send LeBron to the G League and see how that works out.
Right.